Welcome to the Science of Economics. I am Dr. SAJANI JAYAPRASAD. This year, your Plus 1 economics paper has been divided into two parts: Indian economic development and statistics for economics. This is the cover page of your Plus 1 textbook, Indian economic development. And this is the cover page of the textbook, Statistics for Economics. The main objective of the first part is to familiarize you with the basic features of the Indian economy and its development. So, in the first part, we are going to study about the Indian economic development. We start the topic by taking into account the Indian economy at the time of independence. Then we discuss how India moved towards the planning process and how it progressively commenced the economic reforms in 1991. Subsequently, we examine the challenges threatening the Indian economy at present, that is, poverty, human capital formation, rural development, employment, infrastructure, and environment. And in final part of the Indian economy, we compare the developmental experience of India with those of its neighboring countries, Pakistan and China. When we come to the second part of the subject, we will learn about statistics and how it proves to be a fundamental tool in the study of economics. So, in this part, we will discuss on how data are to be collected, how it is organized, and then present the data to obtain a meaningful study. We will also learn about various statistical tools, from the basic ones such as mean, median, and mode to the more sophisticated ones such as mean deviation, standard deviation, correlation, and various types of index numbers. Considering the first part, that is Indian economic development. We all know that today India is the 6th largest economy in the world. But the structure of present-day Indian economy is not just of recent making. It has its roots steeped in the colonial period, which lasted for almost 2 centuries. The sole purpose of the British colonial rule in India was to convert India into a supplier of raw materials for Britain's rapidly expanding industries. Their tactics involved using India as a feeder colony for their own flourishing economy in Britain. An understanding of the exploitative nature of the British rule is very essential for evaluating the level of development which the Indian economy has been able to attain over the last 7 decades. More clearly, to understand the present-day Indian economy, it is first necessary to understand what India inherited from the colonial rule. So, let us first look at the condition of Indian economy prior to the country's independence and then form an idea of the various considerations that shaped India's post-independence development strategy. To ease our learning, we have classified this chapter into 4 categories. In the first category, we will analyze the structure of Indian economy before the British rule. In the second category, we will go through the various policies followed by the British rule and the impact of British policies on the Indian economy, and also the major features of the Indian economy at the time of independence. Thirdly, we will analyze the condition of different sectors of the Indian economy at the time of independence. And in the fourth category, we will analyze the positive impact of British rule in India. So now we are going to consider the first category, Indian economy before the British rule. In your lower classes, all of you have learned about the history of British rule in India. We know that before the advent of colonial rule, India was an independent, self-sufficient and flourishing economy. Agriculture was the main source of revenue for most people. The main activity of the people at that time was the production of food grains. Even though only traditional techniques were used and no chemical fertilizers were applied, the production of agriculture sector was sufficient. India produces abundantly for her own consumption wheat, vegetables, grains, fowls, ducks, geese, massive herds of pigs, flocks of sheep and goat, and fish of every kind it has in plenty. Again, India was a major exporter of cotton and silks, rice, sugar, and butter. The role of intermediaries was minimal. So, the life of the peasants and cultivators was less tense. Thus, the agriculture sector in the pre-colonial era can be said to be in a prosperous state. Let us take a few moments to remember the beautiful words of the French traveler Bernier as he described 17th century Bengal. The knowledge I have acquired of Bengal in 2 visits inclines me to believe that it is richer than Egypt. It exports in abundance cottons and silks, rice, sugar, and butter. It produces amply for its own consumption wheat, vegetables, grains, fowls, ducks, and geese. It has immense herds of pigs and flocks of sheep and goat. Fish of every kind it has in profusion. From Rajmahal to the sea is an endless number of canals cut in bygone ages from the Ganges by immense labor for navigation and irrigation. Yes, according to Bernier, the 17th century Bengal is richer than Egypt. In addition to the flourishing agricultural sector, the country's economy was characterized by various kinds of manufacturing activities. Indian craftsmanship was extensively popular around the world and gathered huge demands. India was particularly well known for its own handicrafts in the fields of cotton and silk textiles works, metal and precious stone works, etc. These products enjoyed a worldwide reputation or worldwide market due to the fine quality of materials used and the high standard of craftsmanship. Clearly, our country had definitely established itself with a decent amount of exports on the world map. For example, take the case of Dhaka muslin itself. What is Dhaka muslin and what is its history? It is a fine variety of cotton textile which enjoyed worldwide fame. It had its origin in Bengal, particularly places in and around Dhaka. Now, Dhaka is the capital city of Bangladesh. In the 1600s, Dhaka muslin was introduced to Europe, and since then it had become a popular material for clothing as it was lightweight, easily washed, and versatile. It was also less expensive than silk or linen. In this connection, it is worthwhile to remember the words of Victor Alexander Bruce, the Viceroy of British India in 1894. India is the pivot of our empire. If the empire loses any other part of its dominion, we can survive. But if we lose India, the sun of our empire will set. Thus, it can be said that before the British rule, India was a prosperous economy in all respects. In fact, our country was popularly known as the Golden Eagle. However, with the dawn of British rule, all the events took a turn. The British rule came to India with the motive of colonialization. Their plans involved using India as a feeder colony for their own flourishing economy in Britain. This exploitation continued for about 2 centuries, and consequently, this led to the death of our country's economy. I hope all of you understand the features of Indian economy before the British rule. Next class, we are going to discuss the second category, that is colonial rule in India, British policies and their impact, and the major features of Indian economy at the time of independence. Thank you.